Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are very glad and thankful that we have with us one of the former heads of the youth in the Spirit of Love, who is now an educator and also a book author. She is going to be releasing her book this September entitled Journey to a Better You. So everybody, please join me in welcoming Ate Liza Gay Parantac.
Hi po!
Ano pong ginagawa niyo? Ano pong pinagkakaabalahan natin ngayon?
At the moment, I'm working full-time as a teacher. So basically, mix siya na work from home tapos physical reporting. And I'm also a mom. At the same time, also busy with my plants.
Plants?
With my plants.
You're a plant mommy also?
Yes po. So,
Okay. Could you tell us po, how did you start sa SOLCC?
yes, I started in the SOLCC, particularly in the Youth in the Spirit of Love, way back 2004. It was my second semester in college after I shifted course from education to nursing. I was staying at the girls' dormitory dun sa SLU din po. And I remember si Ate Jen Atulba Navarro. And I remember her inviting me twice sa youth gathering. Sabi niya, uy, attend ka ng gathering. Sabi ko, ano yun? So, sige, kung feel ko, pupunta ako. So, actually, she invited me twice. It was only the third time that she invited me that I attended the gathering. The first event that I attended actually is the youth gathering. Pagpasok ko pa lang, meron nang nakaabang sa may entrance. I remember it was Ate Cherry, bless her soul. She had this biggest smile on her face, and then very warm yung welcome niya. So, pagpasok ko pa lang, wow, hi, welcome! And then I was taken aback kasi it was my first time to encounter such warm greetings from a stranger. Kaya nag-alangan ako pumasok. And I don't remember kung sino kasabay ko nun, pero pinush nila ako pagpasok dun sa room. When I entered the room, I saw people who are smiling. So, it's such a welcoming atmosphere for me. Kaya, there's something in that na sabi ko, ay, maganda. Parang maganda ito. After that first gathering sa YSL, I kept coming back. So, I attended the other trainings given, like the youth formation. Kuminsan, in-invite kami during the weekend, pumupunta kami sa Makakeng, to the houses of some of the elders, dun yung training, mga ganon, no? During Saturdays and Sundays sometimes, I get so excited kasi we will go there, we will listen to some talks.
May kainan din ba po?
Yes po. Definitely. And yun yung mga na-enjoy ko. At the same time, I was being informed actually. So along the way, nag-attend kami ng mga seminars, also trainings. So yung mga yun, TESE experiences, yung mga yun, spiritual encounters. After that, na-introduce kami sa activities ng community.
Apo.
Kaya, Life in the Spirit seminar, followed by Growth in the Spirit, and then yung Maturing in the Spirit seminars.
Maturing in the Spirit, we have not had that in a long time.
Oh.
So that's nice to know that naabutan mo pa po yun, Maturing in the Spirit
Yes po.
seminar.
Nung una, ang maalala ko is I was just an attending first. And then after that, we were encouraged or we were tasked to lead the joyful songs during the seminar. So,
So how was it po to be leading the joyful songs?
exciting for me, and at the same time, medyo nakaka-nervous din. Pero dun sa book ko, na-share ko din, no? One of my shining moments is when the first time I was with the fellow youth ministry leading the joyful song.
Wow. Do you still remember the dance steps?
Yes po, definitely.
Ako di ko na maalala. May time din naman na nag-join ako kaso hindi ko na ma-remember yung mga steps.
Ooh, yeah. Maalala ko pa, practice po namin noon dun sa office ni Tita Pe. Na Kuya Don. Dun kami, usually
Sa
sa
Radtech
may
office.
Radtech. Yata, ako. So, pinapagilid yung machine, and then doon kami nagpa-practice. So it was really fun and memorable talaga.
Was there any driving force that impelled you to write this book?
Journey to a Better You is it's like 20 years in the making. What pushed me actually was a difficult time in my life. It's like a crisis. And during this pandemic, this COVID crisis, I made some thinking, some reflections, and I was reminded of the things that I should be doing, the things that I really want to do, my goals in my life's mission. It was then that really this book that was in me for 20 years started to materialize. So I want also to help others who struggled like me, and I want to share my story and my message and somehow to inspire them to also reach for their potential and become their best.
What is it that you hope readers would take away from your book?
There are 5 key takeaways that the reader could have in reading this book.
What are those 5 takeaways po?
First is assessment of their present. I want the reader to assess where he or she is at the moment. Answer that question within that there's something that you have to do, that you can do, but you are not yet doing it. The second one is to reevaluate your experiences. For you as a reader to reevaluate your experiences and look at the lessons that you can learn from them. That's the third takeaway, is to look at your experiences with the eyes of a student so that you will learn the lessons that those experiences gave you and the opportunities that opened for you through those experiences. Even the good or the bad experiences, they are also wonderful opportunities that you can learn from, that will help you become the best that you can be. The fourth takeaway that you can have from this book is to look at the other aspects of your life that you need to improve. So you have to look at the aspects of your life that you might need to make some improvements, you might need to enhance, or maybe there are things that are holding you back from becoming the best that you can be. The fifth one is to realize what real success is, the real essence of success.
Do you believe that being part of a spiritual community is indispensable for the growth and development of persons?
Yes, definitely. A plant to thrive has to have the needed elements like sunshine, water, oxygen, of course the good seed, fertile soil. I consider myself as a plant when I first entered the university, and the community actually served as the fertile soil that made me or gave me the opportunities to grow and to grow in my faith and to develop my character as a person, to grow deep in my faith. So the community is very important because it will help you really, it will provide the good soil for the plant to thrive and flourish, and that is what the community did for me. When I teach my students, I see myself also, I'm challenged also to see myself as somebody who is giving, or not just teaching them, but also giving them hope somehow. And I can only give that, I can only achieve that if I am able to connect with them. Sa community kasi nakita ko yon, yung kung paano, no? Kung paano yung connection na yun, it goes beyond the Friday community gathering, yung talk, at saka yung mga Saturday activities sa community. Another one is yung faith, of course. How to put my faith in action. Ako, yung paglalim ng faith ko actually manifested itself when I went in the real life already and I experienced so many difficult challenges. And it was only by the grace of God, by the faith that I developed also, that I was able to overcome them. And another one is family. Ang SOLCC is my second family. It's actually my spiritual family, and it will always be my spiritual family for me. I learned in the community na ang family ay hindi lang puro masasaya, hindi lang puro kasiyahan. There are things that you experience as a family that will challenge your relationship to make it stronger.
Were there members of our community that impacted your life?
Yes. Ang dami. From the youth ministries, sa music, sa community mismo, yung mga elders, ang dami. So, they have impacted my life in a way that it enriched my life. So, I'm so thankful for these people who became a part of it. Ang memorable sa akin, yung mga pairs and singles ng YSL. Pairs and singles, kasi partners talaga. Like, ang unang pairs na naka-inspire talaga sa akin is sila Kuya Doc at Ate Liz. As I continued attending, I was so inspired also by them. The inspiration they gave us, the encouragement, the positivity, ito. And then another pair that impacted my life is Ate Rochelle and Kuya Mike. Hello po sa New Zealand. When my parents questioned my decision to join the YSL kasi sabi nila, naku, baka naman yung join mo na yan, gang-gang yan. Mag-aral ka na lang kaysa pabalikin ka namin dito sa probinsya, sabi nila. So, I was scolded when I attended actually. And it was Ate Roche whom I shared this dilemma. And she made me choose and she made me take the right choice. Kaya nga na-mention ko sa book, it's the best decision I've ever made in my life. Another is, of course, ang pinakauna na nag-welcome sa akin, si Ate Cherry. Bless her soul also. Ate Judy, hello po. And then, Kuya Jay. Siya ang isa sa mga bibigyan ng reviews ng book ko. Si Kuya Dustin. Ate Mitch, hindi na rin siya single ngayon. Si mga batchmates ni Ate Mitch. Ate Sol, mga ngayon. And then, yung fellow servants ko, nakabatch ko, you have Jo. Siya yung isa sa mga reservists ng book. Isa sa mga first 10 na nag-reserve. And then, you have Chris, Jana, Rose, Deline, Jen, Jazel, Rachel, Ate Ann at saka Kuya Nogi. Of course, yung Katay na sisters, si Mabel, si Grace, at saka si Chel, yung kanilang Wonder Ate, na teacher din ngayon. Sa music ministry, si Kuya Don. Yung mga kasama namin dati nagpa-practice, no? Kasi usually pag may LSS at saka GSS, tandem ang youth ministry at saka music ministry kasi they will play the music, the youth ministry will lead the action song. So, memorable yun, mga practices natin dun sa Radtech. And then sa elders, actually ang dami. The first one is pinakatatay. Bless your soul also. Hello there in heaven, Tito Ses. Matagal na hindi ako nag-attend, no? Pero still pa rin yung connection When I gave birth to my first child, nandun si Tito Ses. He visited. And yeah, yun yung essence ng community. Kaya talagang memorable. And then, during the college days, memorable, of course, Tita Ebo, Tita Manu, Tita Belle, and Kuya Romy, the husband. So, Tita Lisa also, pangalan ko. And so many others po, to mention, who had been a part of my journey. Actually, all the people that we meet in life, actually pala, in one way or the other, they are impacting our lives. Hello po sa inyo lahat.
What were the activities that you spearheaded when you were the YSL head? Like, did you go on outings or did you hold outreach programs for needy communities?
When I became the head already, basically ang ginawa namin is really to continue the programs. The first one is December, yung community outreaches. And aside from that, of course, we continued with gatherings as well, mga youth gatherings. Yung formation, yung youth formation.
I also learned that you are a plant mommy. You're into breeding, growing plants. Could you tell us about it po?
During this pandemic, talagang naano yung love ko for gardening. I had more time to do my gardening. And actually, as I'm doing my gardening, it helps me also somehow activate the creative part of me. For my kids, actually, I involve them in the gardening also. Like, I let them hold dirt. I let them enjoy being kids. So, kahit ang hanawakan nila yung soil, and then later sa harvest time, I involve them as well. Especially sa strawberries, yung second child ko, yung son ko, gusto niya. Nagpipick, nag-enjoy na, pag-pick niya ng strawberry, kain agad. So this is, and it really brings joy to me as I do that also to my kids. They enjoy also the plants and they get to enjoy the beauty of those ones. They enjoy the harvest and then the flowers when they bloom.
This gives us a deeper appreciation of God's creation po.
Yes. When you tend to a plant, you develop also patience and you get to appreciate the wonder of God's creation. So, ma-appreciate mo talaga maging pro-environment ka din as you take care of the plants.
What is the single most important thing that you learned being the head of the YSL?
The biggest lesson I learned from my journey, my experience being the head of the YSL is the big C, which I carried with me and I applied in my work and in my journey to personal development. The big C is not a cancer. Actually, the big C is commitment. The big word, commitment. The commitment. Like, there was a time when I was the head, I was struggling personally kasi my dad was hospitalized. We are having some problems in the family. Ang nangyari, there were some problems, there were some issues in the group mismo among servants. So, I called for a meeting as the head, and I know it's a necessary meeting. Maalala ko, doon pa kami nagmi-meeting sa chapel, hospital chapel, SOLCC hospital chapel, and I called for the meeting and nobody came. And that's where my commitment as a head was really tested. Kasi, like, how can you do that? Like, you are a head, you are undergoing some problems, and here comes a very important thing. You know it should be acted upon, kaya magtatawag ka ng meeting, nobody came. And as a leader, that's part of training. Sabi ko kasi, doon na-test talaga ang commitment ko. When you enter a community, for example, and you become a part of the ministry, at the beginning, meron yung excitement, yung elation na nafe-feel mo, no? But along the way, there will be times na minsan di mo na-feel Parang medyo lumalamig na yung initial excitement mo. That's where your commitment will be tested. Sa commitment din, kapag nagtuloy-tuloy ka, alam mo na tama yung ginagawa mo. You know in your heart that you should be doing that and you push through it. In spite of the difficulties, you will be rewarded richly. Later on, I was able to gather again yung mga servants, yung mga medyo lumamig sa commitment, and together, we were able to sustain the programs. So, nagtuloy-tuloy naman. And with God's grace, we were able to carry out the programs of the ministry.
Ate, your book is going to be released this September 2020. Could you tell us how our brothers and sisters could avail of it?
Since talagang close ang community, it's my spiritual family. Actually, na-mention ko ang SOLCC sa many parts of my book, in many chapters, pati sa acknowledgement. The community had been really a part of my journey, and in my heart, I will always be at home in Spirit of Love Catholic community. So, as a gift, I'll be giving a special discount. The book will retail at 350 pesos once it's launched. For the community, I will be giving a discount of 50 pesos, so it will be 300 pesos for the community. And if you want to reserve a copy of your book, just send us a message through our page, it is SOLCC Baguio, or through the group chat. And once the book will be available, it will be distributed via Music and Media Ministry.
That wraps up our interview for tonight. And we are grateful again to Ate Liza Gay for being with us. Thank you so much po, Ate. Thank you.
Welcome po, and I'm also blessed, as I've said, and I'm honored to be here, and I'm glad to share with you the part of my journey as a member of the YSL family and, of course, the community.
Thank you so much po. God bless.
Thank you so much.